Hello, are you here to debate? They didn't answer enough times, so I just assumed it was the N-word caller again. Shout out to K-Space for sending a Venmo for every time I got called the N-word. Let me add that to the timer. Oh, I feel like I haven't added much of the times that I've. Oh, I feel like I haven't added time to the timer in a while. Okay, hold on. I got to do a quick timer add. The last thing I added was a 5. Y'all got to remind me. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yeah, we can talk.
Okay, what's your name and how old are you?
Quinn and 39,
Okay, what are you
African
here to?
American. Yeah,
All right, what are you
yeah,
here to
but I
talk
would
about?
say honestly, not even really just a debate, but just I would say more of a discussion because I believe we live in a day and time with many opinions, many ideas, and I like to talk, with people that I definitely disagree with. Try and see why they feel the way they feel. And kind of reason. I think we have too much uh, negative debating where people really not listen to the other person. So I would say more of the discussion would probably be better.
All right, what specifically do you want to discuss?
I saw a couple of things on your list. The trans men and women are real men and women.
Yes.
That one kind of stood out. I mean, a lot of them stood out, but yeah, that one. I don't know. It seems like we live in a day of time where just, in my opinion, just common sense stuff is just like I don't know if we trying to live in delusional world or because I put it like this, if there's a trans man and let's say I meet a trans man walking down the street, let's say he can even pass for a woman on the as far as appearance wise, you know.
Well,
Um,
trans men, just real quick, trans men wouldn't be passing for women; they would be men.
okay, yeah, a trans woman, yeah. So trans woman, let's say she, let's say he can appear as a woman, but at the end of the day, let's say if we get to that point where, and I do believe there should be a law required for actually even for their safety that let's say if there was a trans woman before they um let's say go all the way intimately with another person, they really have to let that person know that they're not a real woman because I
But
think
again,
that
you have, wait, just really quickly. One, I would argue that trans women are absolutely real women, so you'd have to try to substantiate that. And two, trans women being outed some oftentimes leads to more harm to them. So them being outed will oftentimes lead to men harming them more. So passing a law where they have to out themselves is just dangerous.
no, I'm not saying out themselves to everybody, but I'm saying if they're getting in a situation with another person that's going to lead that's basically getting into that intimacy part because let's say let's say in your case if you um didn't want to have relationships with a man
But
and
you're not
you
having
met a
relationships with a
trans
man.
woman and she passed like I said you didn't know that she was a man and then y'all got into the bedroom and then you found out then I can see that more of a risk for a trans person than not saying that they have to go out and tell everybody but I'm saying in situations where they're basically being intimate with somebody else because I see that as kind of putting that other person in a position too. So you're kind of putting that other person in a bad light.
Putting them into
They,
what
they,
position? If they're attracted to this person, what does it matter?
because men, that person it may not be that person may be attracted to the person's appearance, but that person may not be attracted to their dick. To
Well,
be
wait, wait,
just
wait, wait,
blunt
wait,
with
wait,
it.
wait. You would just know when you go to have sex with someone if they have a dick to be like, oh well, I'm not really into dicks, right? What if they don't
Right,
have what
right.
if they
But
don't have a penis? Then
right,
what's the issue?
yeah. And in an ideal world, just leave the situation, But I'm saying, as far as like what we actually see happen a lot of times is when people get in that situation, there is violence in that situation because that person feels like they've been lied to, they've been tricked.
But they
That was
weren't lied
something
to or
that,
tricked. The violence comes from like misogyny, specifically like trans misogyny and homophobia is where like the violence comes from. So like no, I don't think it's on the trans person when violence is committed because somebody decides they want to harm them. Again, trans women specifically are under more threat of harm when they disclose, right? They're more
well,
likely to
again,
be attacked when they
I'm not saying
disclose.
disclose to everyone, but definitely if you are, because they are being tricked. If you're
You're not
basically
being tricked.
making someone, if you're
It's not.
making somebody
Hold on, blah 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 blah.
believe,
Hold on. I need to stop you with this line of thinking. You're not being tricked by being attracted to somebody. You are
you are,
attracted to them, whether or not they're trans or not. You
making
are
you
attracted
believe
to
that,
them.
if they're making you believe that they're a different sex than what you want, you've been tricked.
No, you haven't been because they're not pretending to be a different sex than they actually are, right?
They are.
And
That's
they're
that's
not.
literally what it
That's
is.
no, it's not.
How they're not pretending to be another sex than what they are if
Because
they're a
they're
man and
not.
they're
Because
pretending
we're
to be a
not
woman.
talking about sex. We're talking about gender.
But you just said sex. I don't know if you slipped up and said
Yeah,
it,
I
but
said
you
they're
said
not pretending to be another sex because we're not talking about sex. We're talking about gender. Transgender people
yeah.
are transgender, like right, where it's their gender. So if you are attracted to somebody, right? If you are attracted to a trans person to the point where you want to sleep with them, and then you find out that they may have genitals you don't like, it's on you to not be a psychopath and try to kill them. It's not on them for having to
Right.
disclose
And
that
I
information.
agree with that. But what I'm saying is that from what we see happen, to eliminate those risks, I believe, you can disagree, but I believe to eliminate those risks, and I'm not saying, oh, that gives them a right to kill a trans person, but I'm saying we have seen in the past, and we do see now, violence that happens in that situation.
Yes, but
So it would
trans
be
women are more likely to be attacked when they are out, and then they're more likely to be attacked by intimate partners than they are anybody else because of this rhetoric that you're passing that they're tricking people when they're not tricking anybody. They're trans women are pretty open about who they are, and you can't trick someone into thinking you don't have a dick. It's kind of impossible.
yeah, you can, because
No, you really
men don't
can't.
walk around thinking women have dicks. And so
I'm
if
sorry.
I see a
I'm
person
sorry.
that appears to be a
I'm sorry.
woman,
When they
I'm not
take
going
their
to think,
pants off
that
and they have
woman
a
has a
dick,
dick.
how are you going to go? Oh well, they tricked me. I didn't know they didn't have a dick. They took their pants off. They had a dick. If they take their pants off and they have a dick, and you don't like dicks, leave the room.
Right.
Doing
And
anything else
we
is not the
agree
fault of
there.
the trans woman.
We agree there, but I'm saying before we even got to that situation, I should have known that.
Why do you think you
And then
should be? Why do you think you are entitled to somebody telling you what genitals they have?
because it's misleading.
It's not misleading. Were you attracted to them? Yes, you were because you were attracted to them enough to take them home. So then there's no mislead here. You still find them attractive. You just don't like the genitals that they have. You still find them
Right.
attractive.
So that's the whole part of the package. That's the whole part of the package. You can't say, "Oh, I was attracted to them from a distance," but it's this whole part of the package. So if they're presenting a package that is misleading, then, like I said, not saying that, oh, they have to walk down the street and let everybody know I'm trans and this and that, but if they're going to get into an intimate situation that's bringing in another party, that party should be able to know prior to,
They will know
you
when you
know.
go to sleep with them. That's when you will find out.
Right,
Or
right,
when they are comfortable enough to
right.
tell you.
But
If they
that's,
are,
I mean,
here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fact. If you are gonna get intimate with a trans person and they don't feel comfortable enough to tell you that they're trans, that's because that you have not made it a safe environment where they feel safe enough to tell you this information.
well, if
That's
they
again,
don't
that's
feel
on
that
you.
comfortable, then it shouldn't have gotten to the intimacy. Because how can they not feel comfortable enough to tell you that? but then y'all getting into intimacy.
because they're
Intimacy.
afraid that you'll kill them if they come out.
So they're afraid you're gonna kill them, but they're gonna allow you to have sex with them. That don't make sense.
Yeah, this would be like what women do all the time, right? Women are afraid of men killing them, but they still sleep with men. So that's not really a great rebuttal there.
Yeah, I've had my share of women, and I've never had women afraid I was gonna kill her and then have sex with me. That
I guarantee you, every woman that you've ever engaged with has been afraid of a man at some point in their life. I
yeah,
guarantee you.
that's a
I
whole
guarantee you.
different argument of
Yeah,
being
I
afraid
guarantee
of
you.
a man at any point in their life.
So again, just to reiterate here, trans women are women, so they're not tricking anybody by claiming to be what they are. That
They're
wouldn't be
not
tricking.
women.
They are.
They're men.
Based on what?
Based on the genders. It's only two genders. You
Cool.
don't
Even if
only
there's
be one.
even if there's only two genders, they would still be the woman one of those two genders.
No, I think in the last I would say I'd say fairly recently we've tried to conflate, sex and gender or make it seem like they're not linked together, which they are.
People use this word
It's
conflate a lot. Conflate means that you are taking two things and replacing or combining them, right? So like if I were to say um I don't even have an example. But what you're doing by saying sex and gender are the same things, that would be conflating them. You're combining two things and saying these are one thing. Sex and gender are not one thing. They are two separate things. They have a linking and they work together in your body, but they're not the same. So you would be the one conflating them, not me.
So the definition of a woman is a female. That's the definition of a woman. So for a
I
man to
don't care what the
claim to
definition
be a
is.
woman, he's claiming to be a female, and that would be inaccurate.
Yeah, so this would just be an appeal to definitions fallacy to claim that a word has to act some way because the definition of the word says that is that. Definitions are descriptive. They don't tell us how words are supposed to be used, and they don't set specific rules for language. The definition dictionaries and definitions don't set language rules, right? All they do is tell us that at any given point in human history, this is how this word tends to be used. That's it. They don't make any prescriptive claims. So when you say, well, they will trans women are not women because the definition is X, cool. We'll just change the definition in the dictionary and then it's all good. Problem solved.
I mean, we could change definitions all we want. Same with like you throw out, or many people you throw out homophobic earlier or whatever. Like we can make up words because I would say this typically when I hear somebody use the word homophobic, as far as it's just a throw out word. Anytime somebody disagrees, not saying you, but I'm just saying typically when I see people disagree with the homosexual, like the first thing to do is just throw out a homophobic, which if we're going by the definition, it really a lot of times doesn't make sense to throw out that word because, yeah, it just doesn't correlate to the argument. Typically, a lot of times it just you can disagree with someone without being homosexual. Just because a person disagrees with a black person doesn't mean they're racist. They just mean they disagree, and don't mean they're scared of a black person. Don't mean they're racist. It just mean that they disagree with that person. But yes, we can
None of
move
this
on.
addressed my point.
Let's see. So, let's, yeah, you said something about gender affirming. On that one, I just kind of really just want to see. Um, Now, when you say minors, do you have an age in particular that you're thinking of when you say minors, or you just
Minors would be anyone under the age of 18.
anyone? Okay, I just want to clarify. So you believe that that we should allow like 5-year-olds to start making gender choices and things like that?
What do you mean start making gender choices? Do I believe 5-year-olds should have the freedom to express their gender in whatever way they want to? Yeah.
Okay. And you believe that they should start getting medication, be allowed to take medication to.
What
Um,
medication would be they be taking at 5 years old?
no, I'm asking like, do you believe that they should start taking medication to start affecting, not necessarily at 5, but like let's say like once they hit puberty or whatever, start taking medication to
Wait, but
change
again,
alter.
yeah, once they hit puberty, yeah, I believe that they should be able to take pubertal suppressants or HRT respectively. Yeah, once they hit puberty, yeah, because they've hit the developmental stage where these
Mm-hmm.
treatments may be necessary. So yes.
Okay. Even knowing that their mind isn't fully developed at that stage to make that type of choice,
Okay, what does that have to do with them receiving medical care?
because they're taking things that's potentially altering their body. That's something that I'll put it like this: they can't
Everyone
even
who goes through
they can't
puberty has their body altered.
say that again.
Everyone who goes through any sort of puberty is going to have their body altered. So they're already going to go through a
Right, right.
life-changing body alteration. What does it matter if the life-changing body alteration is just like medically induced or not? What does that matter?
Because it's going against what their natural body is going to do.
It's going against what their natural body is going to do. Okay. And so
Yeah, I'm just asking. I'm just trying to get more of your understanding.
yeah,
So
I don't know what this point is supposed to be proving, right? Like, okay, their body won't naturally go through, for instance, like a trans girl's body doesn't naturally go through female puberty. So
yeah, so the choice that they would make at, let's just say 12,
well, they're not
is
making the
they're
choice.
allowed.
Their parents and doctors are.
Say that again.
They are not making a choice. Their parents and doctors make the decision because they're minors. So they don't make medical
Well,
decisions
they
for
make the choice
themselves.
because if they didn't make the choice to even want to do it, then their parents and doctors wouldn't even um, allow them to do it. So they are
No,
making a
again,
choice.
the choice is made by their parents and their doctors. They might
So
say,
can
"Hey,
they?
I feel like I might need this." But their parents and doctors are going to make the overall decision.
Right, but their parents and doctors can't make the choice without them making the choice first. They can't. Parents and
What
doctors
choice do you
can't
think
force them.
trans kids are making?
Say that again.
What choice do you think trans kids are making? They don't choose to be trans. They don't choose to have gender dysphoria.
They
They
are
don't
choosing.
choose
They're choosing to
to
transition.
what?
They're choosing to transition.
No, their parents are choosing that. The parents are making the decision. That means they are
So
making the
they,
choice.
so they, so basically, the parents are making the decision without them.
I'm sorry, what?
The parents are making the decision without them.
No, they typically consult the kid, but the parents have final say over what happens. This
Why
means
are
it's
they
their
consulting the
decision.
kid?
Well, because a good parent would consult their kids before giving their kids medical treatment
But I mean, what are they? What are they consulting the kids for? What kind of?
about
What are
what the
they?
treatment's going to entail, why they might need the treatment, how
So
long
why
the
would they
like
be?
what?
Why would they be consulting the kid for the treatment?
What do you mean? So that the kid is informed of what's going to happen to them?
Right, because the kid said that this is what they want. Again, the
Yeah,
kids
just
make the
because the
choice
kid is
first.
saying it's what they want doesn't mean if my kid goes, "Oh, dad, I want McDonald's." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll get you McDonald's." That doesn't mean the kid chose like that doesn't mean that I just still didn't choose to give my kid McDonald's, right? I still chose to give my
What?
kid
If
McDonald's.
my wife says, if I say, Connie, what do you want to eat tonight? I want to eat McDonald's, and I go get McDonald's. She chose McDonald's.
Yes, but
You
you
can't say
still chose
the
to
kid didn't
give her
choose.
the McDonald's. She wouldn't have had the McDonald's if you did not choose to give it to her.
Right, but I would have not got it for her if she didn't choose to want
That
McDonald's.
homie, my God, this is crazy.
It's, I don't know. I don't get
A
that part.
kid can
It's the
advocate for
child's
themselves.
choice.
It
Like
doesn't mean
they
they are
can,
making the choice.
they're affirming the child's choice, but the child is choosing. I don't know why. I don't know why you're saying they're not a choice.
because the child is not making the choice to go on medical care. They physically cannot
They
make
are.
that choice. The parents make that choice. Parents have medical consent over their children.
Yes, but the child also makes the choice. It's not like the parent is choosing without the child's
I don't think
choice.
you know what we mean when we say choice.
Yeah, maybe.
The
Yeah. When
decision
I hear her, I
whether
just
or
mean
not the
like,
child can go on the medication and go on medical affirming healthcare is done by the parents. That decision is made solely by the parents. It can be you can offer input from both the child and the doctor, but the decision is that of the parents.
okay, maybe like I
This
said,
is
maybe
for
you
this
mean
is for
something
all
different.
medical care, by the way, not just gender
Yeah.
affirming
So
care.
when I say the child is choosing, basically what I meant by that is I'm just saying that the child is something it's something that they want. It's not like something that they don't want. So they want to go on these hormone blockers, and so the parent basically allows them to do so. That's all. I didn't mean nothing crazy about it. That's
Yeah, and it's
basically
a
what I meant.
in almost all cases, it's a good thing that the parents allow them to go on pubertal suppressants
Why did you say that?
because gender dysphoria can lead to suicide and self harm, and typically going through medical affirming care leads to positive outcomes.
Why do you feel? Well, I mean, we see suicide on both sides. We see suicide if they go through it, see suicide if they don't. I think that's
Suicide
more.
rates are
I think. I
lowered.
think.
Suicide rates are
I think.
lowered after gender affirming care.
Mm, I mean, I'm not gonna argue on that because I don't think there's enough evidence
There's
either way.
tons. I can give it to you. There's tons of evidence actually about it. An actual
Mm,
metric ton of evidence.
I mean, I like I said, I've heard people discuss that, and when you get to those types of studies, you really have to look at who's done the studies and a lot of other stuff. So it probably wouldn't be worth
Yeah,
getting into
I've
that.
looked at all of
Um,
that.
so, but honestly, I would say just common sense. Just if you are unhappy with who you are, that tends to be an avenue more for suicide, just in general. So um, so I think the suicide really just comes from not being happy with who you are, and then even if you try and change yourself to somebody else, you're still not gonna be exactly. If I'm a man, I can never change myself to be a woman. I can. It's just like a cat can never be a dog. A cat can try to learn how to bark and put on a dog costume. It's still a cat at the end of the day. So I said I don't
Cat and dogs
understand how
aren't
you.
sociological concepts, so yeah, that's species. That's dictated by DNA. So yeah, doesn't shock me that a cat can't be a dog, but man and
Yeah.
women are
Same
sociological
with
concepts.
so totally different, and men and women are totally different.
Never said that men and women aren't
Woman that
different.
can ever there's no woman that can never get another woman pregnant. It just is what it is.
What does someone being pregnant have to do with them being a man or a woman?
That's basically what the difference between in our species, the difference between a man and a woman is men get women pregnant, women get pregnant. It's. Only two choices.
There are plenty of women who can't get pregnant.
That doesn't take effect of the
Well,
species.
it
That
it
doesn't
would if
that
your
doesn't
claim is
negate
that.
that there's only two options.
Well, wait, it
You
would
know,
if your claim is that women get pregnant. That's the only distinction between a man and a woman. Then a woman who can't get pregnant, would you say that they're a man now because they can't get pregnant?
no, that's just like saying that may be something causing them not to be able to get pregnant. So that may be um something going on in their body that's causing them not to be able to get pregnant. That doesn't, but for what they were intended to be, as far as like on a whole, they were intended to get pregnant. Now, if they can, it's just that like me, we know humans have 5 fingers. Now, if a person is born with 6 fingers, you know, that's a
The
dysmorphia.
difference is the
We
difference
don't say.
is hold on. The difference is you're saying that in order to be a woman, you like giving birth is what
I,
makes
di-
you a
I
woman.
didn't say
I
that.
would never.
I'm
I would
saying
never.
that.
Well, no, you
I
are.
didn't say that.
You're.
I'm saying
You said
classification. This classification of beings get pregnant. This classification of beings
okay.
get
Then
women
what
pregnant.
is the necessary condition to being a woman? What is the thing that you have to have that makes you a woman?
There's nothing. There's nothing that you have to make you a woman. It's just a woman. A woman is a
Okay,
woman.
well then I would say trans women are women because there's nothing that they have to make them women. They would just fit under the category of woman. If there's nothing that they have to have possess to make them a woman, then you can't argue against them being women because they don't have to possess anything specific to be that.
What is a woman?
What is a woman? A woman is an adult human whose gender identity aligns with their personal schema on the female sex.
So what is that though? That just sounds like you're saying the same way you're trying to basically say you want a definition for it like that. Because if I say okay, woman, like I just said, women, like we know. Let's say if I was a doctor, or let's say if I was a nurse and I show up on the scene and somebody's saying my water broke. I know it's not a man. I know I'm going to be dealing with a woman,
I don't know
of
what this
course.
is addressing. What point are you making here?
So I'm saying it's differences between men and women. Men, just their whole biological makeup. Women, their
I'm
whole
not talking
biological
about
makeup is
someone's
totally
biological
different.
makeup. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about gender.
It's, we can say, I mean, you can argue differently, but I'm going to stay in reality and say that they're pretty much, we're talking about the same thing here.
Yeah, but
When we talk about
what are
a
you
woman,
basing this argument on?
the definition of a woman is a female, so that deals with sex. So we're
Yeah,
pretty much talking
but
about
so, okay. So then are you saying in order to be a female or in order to be a woman, it's required that you are a female?
yes,
Okay, what is a female?
your mama, your sister, your aunt.
So what is a female?
You tell me.
You are the one making the claim. If you are making the claim, why would I tell you? You're making the claim. You're saying women, it is required of women to be female. So what is required to be female?
For your sex to be female.
What does that mean? What makes you female? What makes your sex female?
It's a lot of things that make you female. That's how we know. That's how people have know what the baby is. Whenever they have babies, they know we wouldn't be able to mark on our on our birth certificate male or female if there's no
So
things
you do
that
not
can.
know the requirements necessary to be a female. Because if you knew them, you would
Your
just say
whole
what they
your
are.
whole biological makeup in your genitals. Let's
What do
start
you
there.
mean when you say your whole biological makeup? What does that even mean? You're being vague because you don't know the actual answer to the question.
Your whole biological makeup and your genitals. When I say your whole biological makeup, I mean meaning that if you're born a male, you're gonna have different traits that are going to push you towards masculinity, masculine features. You're gonna have a penis. You're gonna have more different brain and bone structure. You're gonna be able to, on as a whole, you're gonna be stronger, jump higher, run faster.
Okay, I want to
Um,
hold on, just pause. So you're saying it is required if you want to be a man, it is required of you to
no,
be male, and then it's required in order to be male, it's required of you to have a penis. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's what a male is.
Okay. Males are required to have penises. So this is a requirement. Without a penis, you're not a
Hmm.
male.
No, so you're trying to say, because you're gonna go to, well, what if I cut my penis off?
Well,
Am
I'm
I still a
asking you
male?
if this is a requirement. If it is not required for males to have
I'm
penises,
saying this is
then
how we
then
do.
hold on,
This
stop,
is
stop, stop,
how
stop,
we.
stop, 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 stop,
Okay, go
stop.
ahead.
I'm asking if it's a requirement. If it is not a requirement for males to have penises, then anyone without a penis can be male because it's not required of them, right? If it's not required for females to have vaginas, then anybody without a vagina can still be a female because having a vagina is not a requirement to being female. So are these things requirements in order to fit into these categories?
Mm, Let me word this correctly, because I mean we can play the word play game all night long, but men have penises. Women do not have penises. Um,
Great. I'm going to ask you
women have,
again, is it
women have
required?
vagina.
Is
Women do
it
not have. Men do not have
required
vagina.
for men do not have vaginas?
Yeah,
That's the
men do
claim.
not get pregnant. Do you think men get pregnant?
I think men get pregnant because I think trans men are men. We're talking about your worldview here. So you're now saying that
Well,
men
we
cannot
can.
have, hold on. You're saying now men cannot have vaginas, women cannot have penises. That's the claim.
Men don't
Correct?
have vaginas.
I just want to confirm that this is the claim.
Men don't have vaginas.
I just want to know if this is the claim, yes or no.
Yes.
Great. So when a trans person goes through bottom surgery, they now have vaginas. They would now be women.
No, because
All
that's
your
just
claim
because
was that they don't have
just
it. That was your claim. So if
just
they have
'cause
it now, what's the issue?
just because you cut a hole in somebody doesn't mean that's a vagina.
What do you think a
I mean,
vagina
man,
is? What is a vagina?
say that again. I'm talking about naturally, a
What
natural
is
vagina.
a vagina?
Not,
What
not,
is it?
you want the definition? I can pull up the definition for you.
I just want you to tell me like your general knowledge. If you want to put up a definition, fine. But I'm just asking you, what is a vagina? It seems weird to say that some things are and are not vaginas, but you don't know what a vagina is.
Because I don't want to get into this wordplay game, so I'll just pull up the definition. The vagina, for you, tubular muscular organ in the female reproductive system that extends from the external genitalia. It doesn't say from the male
Yeah.
reproductive
So
system.
what would be required of a vagina to be considered a vagina? It's a muscular opening in the groin that leads to the inside of a person's body. This would be
No,
what's
it
like.
says in
This
the
is what
female
a vagina is.
reproductive system
This is what
that
a.
extends
Hold
from.
on, hold on, hold
I'm
on.
literally just
Yes, I
definition
know
to you.
you are, but your claim. Do you notice how this thing isn't what you're reading is saying that females have vaginas, not that females need vaginas to be female, right? Do you notice this? Do you notice how it's saying this and it's wording it this way? Whereas your wording was, well, in order to be female, you've got to have a vagina. Like vaginas are female, right? Uh,
No, that's like you. That one said you trying to twist my words to say something that I'm not
Not twisting your words.
claiming.
I'm literally asking you your stance and repeating back to you what you tell me.
No, no, you're doing like this wordplay of if I say
So wordplay.
women have women have vaginas. Okay, so do you if you don't have a vagina, are you a woman? What about women that
I
So it's
specifically
like
asked you about
it's just like
requirements.
if I say women
Hold
get
on,
pregnant, women
stop.
get
I asked
pregnant
you
with.
about requirements. You said it is required, right? It is required to have a vagina to be female. I asked you very specifically about requirements.
Yeah, that's what a female is. Mm.
Yeah, so if somebody has a vaginoplasty and they now have a vagina, they're female. They're under your purview. They're female now.
No, no, no. Because you're saying something that I didn't say. I'm saying females have vaginas. What you're doing, you're saying if a male gets a vagina, can he be a female? That's a totally
If
different
you're saying
question there.
females can have vaginas, then having vaginas are not what makes you female. So we're right back to my question before, which is what makes someone a female? What's the required, the necessary condition to being female? Because apparently it's not vagina, because now all you're saying is that females can have vaginas. It's not required of a female to be a vagina or to have a vagina,
Well,
because you
it
can
is.
be
I mean,
female without
it's
one.
not so.
And you,
It's
I'm
not.
sorry.
It's not solely. It's not solely. Like I said, it's the overall makeup. Now, if I want to, go into a list of all the body parts a female has that a male doesn't have,
Well, something
we can
has to
do
be
that.
necessary. There has to be a thing that is necessary of this group to be distinguished from another group. What is that thing? What is the thing that distinguishes this group from another group to where you're going, I don't want to, that there are people that do not fit into the group? What's that thing?
Being a female.
Female is what we're talking about. What is the thing that makes you a female that bars
Yeah.
other people from being in your group?
You have ovaries, fallopian tube,
So,
uterus,
so you have to have
cervix,
these
vagina,
things. You have to have these things to be
clitoris.
okay. So you have to have these
Huh?
things to be a female.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Sure.
what you changing my words, but what I'm saying is that's what
Asking you
females
questions.
have.
I'm not changing your words. Let's say we advance into medical technology enough to do complete reproductive implants. So a trans woman can have a complete female reproductive system implanted into her. Is she now a woman because she has all of those things that you mentioned?
No.
Then none of that matters about what being a woman or a female is, because here she is having the things that you say you need to be a female, but this person would not be a female. So that isn't what's actually important to you. So what makes someone female? What is the thing you have to be female? It's not a reproductive system, because here I am saying if somebody has a reproductive system, would they be female? And you said no.
Yeah. So in that case, it would be someone who had to go on the medical surgery to get something unnaturally that they didn't naturally have.
Sure. So then if a woman is born with vaginal agenesis, which is a condition that can affect females, which makes you have no reproductive system, and then that woman gets one surgically implanted in her, is she a woman?
Yes.
Why? She did the exact same thing the trans person did. Why is now she a woman, but the trans person is not?
Because she was a she when she got it.
You said though that, hold on, but you said the thing that makes you the woman is having the thing. She didn't have the thing.
I said the overall makeup though. It's more than just that. I mean, we don't have to.
You claimed it was the reproductive system. You said ovaries, the clitoris. You said all these things. Now you're saying that's not what actually makes you a woman.
I'm just naming 5 or 6 things. But I mean, as far as like women, I didn't even name breast, the hair, testosterone levels.
So hold on. If a cis woman is born without all of those things, what is she?
If a real woman is born without what?
If a cis woman is born without all of these qualifiers, the word is cis, is born without all of these qualifiers that you claim,
we can make up words, but the reason why we have to make up words is because
every word is made up. Every word is made up. All words, every word that's ever existed is a made up word. So claiming that we're just making up words is nonsense. Every word is made up. So I'm going to ask you again. Every word is made up, so every word is real. That's literally how words work. Words are not unreal because someone makes them up. All words are made up. So again, if somebody is born without all of these qualifiers that you've placed, what would they be?
Say it again.
If someone is born without all of these qualifiers you've claimed, so they don't have they don't have any female reproductive systems. They don't even have a vagina, right? But they're born with XX chromosomes, and they're born a girl. What is this person if they don't have these things? Are they a woman or are they a man?
What did the doctor were they born as so you saying if they're born as a woman without all these other things?
They don't have any of the. You said to be a woman, you have to have these things. They're born without these things. So what are they? Are they a man or a
They're
woman?
born without what? They're born without what?
They have no
They're born
reproductive.
without
They have no female reproductive system at all. They don't even have a vagina. What are they?
so they don't have a vagina or a penis?
No. What are they?
They're alien. Alien.
So now we have a third gender called alien. So there are more than two genders.
No, I'm saying that if they were born without either or, unless you can show me a case of that happening,
Vaginal
we can look.
agenesis. It's called vaginal agenesis. Vaginal agenesis is a condition that affects females that can lead to them having no vagina and no reproductive system.
It's a disease that affects who?
It affects females.
All right, you answered your question.
It's not my question, stupid. I'm asking your logic, not my logic. I would believe they're female because I believe
You
there's a
just said
different
it's
qualifier.
female, so
Stop.
your
You don't
question. We're
understand this.
still talking.
You don't understand the logic tree right now. I'm going to try to walk you through the logic tree so maybe you can get a little understanding about it. When we're talking right now, we are arguing your position, not my position. We're not arguing what I think they are. We're arguing what you think they are. Your claim is that to be female, you have to have these things. And here are people without these things. What would you call them? Are they men or are they women? They don't have the things that you've claimed are needed to be woman and to be female. So what would you call them?
You just said the female. You just
Dummy.
said this is a
Oh my God.
disease that
This is
is
crazy.
female.
This is crazy. This is
Well, let me
nonsensical.
ask this. Maybe
This is
let me
nonsense.
so you just said this is a disease that would affect female. How do we know that? Or not even say how do they classify that this is a disease that is affecting a female? How do
Right.
they?
So
How
I
can
think
you
you
say
have a
that?
fundamental misunderstanding of how sex works in the human body. So I'll try to give you a fucking quick education on this. So sex is split up into two categories. It's split up into genotypic and phenotypic sex. Genotypic sex is your chromosomes. These are an unchangeable aspect about you. You cannot change your chromosomes. They're going to be what they are, end of story. Phenotypic sex is the modifiable attributes that are associated with your sex. So these would be things like your reproductive organs. These would be things like your hormone levels, like different phenotypic differences between the sex. These are all modifiable traits. Like neuroscience agrees that these are all modifiable traits, right? That's the two ways sex is marked in the human bodies. Genotypic sex tends to be considered to be deterministic. Phenotypic sex is determined by your genotypic sex. So in order for someone to be female, right, they can either be genotypic female or phenotypic female. So trans women would typically, if they have undergone medical transition, be classified as phenotypically female. They would have the phenotypic characteristics of females and thus be classified in this way.
Okay, so let's look at it just as simple because I'm pretty sure, just to simplify things. Let's just say we have two buckets. We have a masculinity bucket and a femininity bucket. Everybody's born with, let's just say, a little bit pulling from each bucket, as far as like on appearance wise. Let's say if there's a man, he's gonna typically have, let's just say, 90% of masculine features from the masculine bucket. Female, 90% from the female bucket. We can say everybody may have, a little percentage of both. That doesn't mean that there's infinity genders because there's only two buckets. There's only one bucket pulling from masculinity and a bucket pulling from feminine traits. So masculine traits, feminine traits. It's only two buckets you can pull from. We don't have a third bucket of something different that we can pull from. So just because one person, we would say, okay, she used to have 90% feminine traits and now she changing her appearance to have only 40% feminine traits, and now she's doing things to take on more masculine traits. So she's changing her body. You know, that's not a third gender. You know, basically she's just changing her her appearance. You know, masculine and feminine, and again, we just tie it back to sex. You know, like I said, we can change words all day, make it more confusing or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's only two buckets you can pull from, masculine or feminine. If you're a male, biological male, you're going to just naturally have masculine features. If you're female, you're going to have feminine features. Even in intersex people, typically, you know, we may be dealing with, let's say, if a woman has a small deformity of a penis growing somewhere, and the doctor may chop that off, she'll still grow up to be a, you know, regular functioning woman. You know, vice versa the other way. A man may have a disformity that shouldn't be there growing on him. They may cut that off, and he grow up as a male. We don't have one person that can get themselves pregnant. We don't have like a third alien species that can be like, oh, I can get pregnant and get somebody pregnant. It's still only two options, you know. So I don't know, but that's just, I would say, on the simplest way I can kind of describe it. It's only two buckets, masculine and feminine. It's not like a third bucket we can pull from.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.